You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. There is nothing to that. These words from the book echoed the thoughts of a friend. Long before I began to travel, I told him about my restless desire to wander. Nothing will change just because you're in a new place, he said. From my own experiences in the last few years, I now disagree. Dear Lucy, on the early morning of the 2nd of August, waking up to the sounds of rain outside, I opened the windows expecting a cool, sweet breeze to rush in and fill the void in my room. Instead, I was met with the static noise of the sea, reverberating and echoing through the still sleeping houses. Funny, because in a previous letter, I described the same as the tunes of the sea, or was it the hums of the beach? It's as if what we call the mind, which is physically non-existent, decides how we comprehend the physical world. Quite an example of how it shapes our reality based on intangible threads of our own thoughts, isn't it, Lucy? A few days before this, I was in a similar mental spot of unease, but something pulled me out of it. It was a book, its writing, and the ideas and thoughts it left me with. We had dined at Avenues and afterward went to the Café de Versailles for coffee. My reading was interrupted by a sudden recollection. Was it the same cafe from Before Sunset movie? I soon checked, only to realize it was different. Even though I was wrong, I got an idea. I started annotating and saving all such places so that when I go to Paris, I will visit these cafes, sit where these characters mused, and show off that I have been to the same places as the fictional characters from Hemingway's books. No, listen, Jake. If I handle both our expenses, would you go to South America with me? Such a generous offer by Robert, isn't it? Ask us, Robert, and we will gladly say yes. It was a warm spring night and I sat at a table on the terrace of the Neapolitan watching it get dark and the electric signs come on, the crowd going by and the horse cabs clippity-clopping along the edge of the solid taxi traffic. I think I now understand why I like Ernest Hemingway. He observes, he writes, there are frequent visits to cafes, random conversations, and conversations about books and literature. Reading some books leaves you with a different energy. You suddenly feel ready for anything life can throw at you, and you're also almost prepared to quit that job you no longer like. That was the exact sort of energy that found me that morning after I finished reading the first few chapters of this book. Was it the book or the wasted weekend that made me more receptive to what I read that morning? And what book was it? It's this, The Sun Also Rises. My 4th book of Hemingway and the 3rd in the ongoing Hemingway reading series, and what a charming start. The first 30 pages have flipped and rolled like a sweet breeze. How was the rest of the book? That is a matter of another letter. Some people don't care what results their efforts will bring, but they act, nevertheless, towards the change they seek. I have seen him a few times, always from a distance or from a moving vehicle, and this time, we interacted. See you in the next letter. Best wishes, Bolingbroke, to Lucy, 1860, Birchwood Manor, England.